Hello and welcome to a special live Stay Tuned. We are live outside for the first time ever, not just because the weather is nice, but because of what is happening this weekend where we are standing in the Public Media Commons here in Grand Center. It was almost 30 years ago that Eyes on the Prize first aired. It became to be known as the defining documentary of the civil rights movement. This weekend here in the Public Media Commons and on the 9 Network, all 14 episodes of Eyes on the Prize will be airing. We don't have to think back that far to know that if more episodes were made today, St. Louis would be part of the story. So we are excited to kick off the weekend here in the PMC, and we hope you'll stay tuned.
So we're going to do the show.
Stay Tuned brings together local experts, journalists, civic leaders, and regular people to have tough conversations for a stronger St. Louis. Add your voice to our conversation, and you're at the table as we stay on top of current events and go deeper, bringing more light and less heat to the issues that matter. From the 9 Network of Public Media in Grand Center, this is Stay Tuned.
15 to the roll. 45.
So one reason we have a great sense of pride in Eyes on the Prize here in St. Louis, that's because the man who made the film is from St. Louis, Henry Hampton. Henry's no longer with us, but his sister Judi is here with us tonight to help us get things kicked off. And if people want to know the high school question, Henry went to Salu High, correct? And then you guys grew up in Richmond Heights, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So I guess first tell me, why did your brother want to make this film?
He thought, to begin with, he thought about it when he was crossing the Pettus Bridge with a lot of other people.
He was at Bloody Sunday in 1965.
That's right. And my brother had polio, so one of his legs was in a brace. And he recalls that the people on either side of him sort of intuitively, because he was falling behind, picked him up on either side. He called it his honor guard to walk him across the Pettus Bridge. And one of the things I guess he thought about was this whole thing, this across the Pettus Bridge and all of that, would make great television. And that was how the idea was born.
But he wasn't a filmmaker at the time, correct?
Yes, Henry was always a filmmaker while Eyes on the Prize was on the scene. Before that, he was a public relations executive with the Unitarians. And he went with the Unitarian group to Selma, and that's how this all really started.
And he had the vision for the film when he was experiencing it firsthand.
Exactly, yeah. And when he was trying to raise funds for it, he would show me his, I guess these days you call it a trailer or a teaser, what was in the series, and I couldn't believe he couldn't get funding to do it.
It took a long time.
10, almost 12 years. And the Ford Foundation stepped up and funded it.
It's one of these films that I feel like a lot of people, if you say Eyes on the Prize, they say, "Oh yeah."
Yes.
And then when you see clips of it, you're like, "Whoa, I don't remember that part." So for that reason, let's give people just a little sample.
Absolutely.
Take a look.
The fear that had shackled us all left suddenly when we were together.
If you can't vote, you ain't free. And if you ain't free, well, then you're a slave.
It might seem like ancient history.
He said, "Why don't you stand up?" I said, "I don't think I should have to stand up."
All you niggers, get up from the lunch counter or we're gonna arrest you.
But the stories still resonate for us all.
There was not a black face in sight.
We might as well ask for complete desegregation.
Segregation in the North was dynamic, it was real, blatant, ugly, violent.
What you want is a nation to be upset when one of us is killed.
The Landmark series, which takes you back to see and hear the stories that created a movement.
Movement meant that finally we were encountering on a mass scale the evil that had been destroying us on a mass scale.